Sup, peoples? This is MapCRim over here for round 5 of Elo's Tourney. I know this is kind of late, and you guys, if you've seen Rev's side of the video, or just are following the Tourney by itself, you'll know the results of this. But hey, I'll post it anyways because, you know, I kind of have to and stuff. So, I led with Spiritomb. I kind of thought this was like a tricking Jirachi, so I wanted to force him into trick, just to see if he was, so that's why I switched to Garchomp and all that shit. But he ends up just U-turning into his fucking Forthorn. So I switched to my Mew, and I'm like, whatever. He sets up his hazards while I set up my own hazards, and I'm like, fuck, well, I don't want him to, you know, get all my hazards up, so I might as well just switch. Goes for Leech Seed, which kind of sucks. I would have been okay if he actually went for the third Spikes, because I wanted to Calm Mind up and shit, which is what I do, but, you know, I have the Leech Seed on me, which kind of sucks, so that means he just gets all of his fucking HP back, which is like, bitch! Why do you do this? So, yeah, so he gets some Leech Seed and shit, and I was like, well, I know this is a fucking special defensive Heatran because fucking Rev always uses that shit and I hate it. It is the death of me. I hate Heatran so much now in 5th gen. I hated him in 4th gen as the Scarf shits, and I hate him now as just the special defensive shits and all that stuff. So I went for Pain Split because I was pretty sure he was going to roar, so I was like, hey, I might as well get my HP back. And yeah, so he roars me into fucking Conkeldurr, and I'm like, bitch, greatest roar ever. So yeah, obviously I was going to go for either Drain Punch or the Bulk Up, so he switches into his Rotom Wash, and I do go for the Bulk Up, and I'm like, well, what is he going to do to this thing? And I was pretty sure, you know, the best thing he could do is maybe set up screens or something, but he ends up going for the fucking Trick, and I'm like, bitch, why do you do this? Why do you do this? You fucking tricked me a Specs to a Rapution, isn't that... Ugh, so fucking useful. Okay, so I go for a Drain Punch. Luckily, I didn't go for the second Bulk Up because I was like, yo, what's up? And yeah, so I knew he was going to switch into something that could resist Drain Punch because I herpa derp, so I switched out into my, oh no, he went for Volt Change. I thought he was going to switch, but obviously since he had Volt Change, you know, he gets switch advantage and shit. So, yeah, anyway, so now he goes into his, fucking, Boltros, or what is it called? Thundurus, whatever. Goes for the Thunderbolt. I really don't give a shit about the Spiritomb at this point because it's already death fodder. And yeah, so I send him a Chain Chomp, and I'm like, yo, I'm gonna totally go for the Earthquake, except not because I go for Stone Edge and kill that thing. So I'm like, yeah, get wrecked, bitch. So now he sends in his little Furthorn shit thingies, and I'm like, okay, I'll send in Conkeldurr because, you know, why not? And yeah, and Rev knows me. I predict a lot, so normally I would actually go for probably go for the payback here, but since he knows me, I just went for the Drain Punch because he knows I would predict that, so he went into something safely to see what I would use. And, you know, he sees me, goes for a Drain Punch, and I'm like, well, you're gonna U-turn, so whatever. I know he's gonna U-turn into his fucking Latias because, you know, Latiases are bulky in 5th gen for whatever reason. But, yeah, well, you know, Latios is kind of overpowered at this point, so, yeah. I get a crit on the Drain Punch, which is practically useless. I mean, you know, I can't really do anything anyways, so yeah. I send in Birdo, and I know that I could probably take 2 Dragon Pulses. I was at least hoping that. And, yeah, he does go for the Dragon Pulse, and I do get to live 2 of them. So that was pretty sexy right there, and I get softballed up and shit. So, yeah. So I softballed up, and I'm like, yo, what's up? And, yeah. And I kind of forget what we do here. He switches into his Jirachi, I believe. Yeah, he goes into Jirachi hoping to get like a free U-turn or some shit on me, but I end up just going for Dragon Tail, which I'm like, bitch, switch out. And he goes into his fucking Lord Death, which I'm like, you fucker, because I know this thing has Substitute. I'm pretty sure... Well, it's actually not exactly the same thing as his normal special defensive Heatran, so I wasn't sure what he was going to do. He ends up going for Will-O-Wisp, which I kind of lolled at because he gave me Guts. But, yeah, so now I thought, well, I'm just going to go for Drain Punch, because if he does go into Latias, you know, I could get some HP back now, because, you know, I do have Guts boost and shit. And so I go for the Drain Punch, ends up just going into his Rotom to see what I use, and then he just goes into Latias. So he goes for the Recover. I'm like, whatever, I'll just Drain Punch, you know, I might as well just go for Death Fodder now, because I kind of want to send in my Latias and Draco Meteor or something at this point. So, yeah, so I basically just leave it in a Death Fodder. Does get a crit on the Dragon Pulse, which, you know, I probably would have lived that and got a second Drain Punch, but that wouldn't really matter at all in the first place, so, you know, because Drain Punch does shit. So, I actually think he feared the Trick, so he went into Jirachi, and maybe he thought maybe I'd live the Draco Meteor, or he'd live the Draco Meteor, but he doesn't, and it takes Draco to the face, and he dies. So, now he sends in his Heatran, and I'm like, you bitch, I hate you. And, yeah, I switch out. I switch on to Birdo, and I'm like, what are you gonna do? And he ends up going for the Will-O-Wisp, which I'm like, yay, synchronize. Doesn't work. Okay. Because, you know, he's part fire type and shit. So, he switches. I don't know why. What did I use? I think I just soft-willed. Yeah, I soft-willed up. Get all my sexy HP back and shit. And, you know, I think I just went for a Psychic just to see how much it would do, and it really does jack shit. It does fuck all to that thing. And, yeah, so now I'm burned and I have a Leech Seed, which is gayer than gay. It's like Birdo with a bow gay. Okay, that's kind of, no. So I go for the soft willed again, thinking, you know, maybe he'll Gyro Ball or something, but I might, you know, get more HP than I had that turn, but he ends up not at the end. I actually do lose Leech Seed and shit, and I'm actually lower. So, yeah, I just go for Dragon Tail, which does fuck all again. I actually take more damage than I do it. And he goes into his Lord Death. Now here, remember this. I Dragon Tailed him into Heatran. Or no, what am I thinking? Hold on a second. Am I thinking correctly? No, I'm not thinking correctly. What the fuck am I talking about? Hold on. Forget I said anything. Okay, so now I send in fucking fuckers over here. And go for the Surf, and it fucking doesn't die. I'm like, what? Why don't you die? I wish you died. Why couldn't you die? You know, why couldn't you die? Fucking great. So now his bitch is still alive, and that fucking Notori or fucking Ferrothorn, whatever you want to call it. So I'm like, you know what? You're gonna send Ferrothorn. I'll send in my own Ferrothorn. Shuck on my dick, okay? So he goes for the Gyro Ball, ends up taking more damage than, you know, dealt. And I thought, you know, he'll go into Heatran or he'll go into Latias. And I'll go for Power Whip, because I thought after Stealth Rocks I would kill this bitch with a Power Whip. It doesn't die! It lives with 1 HP! And I'm like, fuck you, Rev. Wow, that was a really gay way of saying... Okay, fuck you, Rev. Okay, so, goes for Lava Plume. I wasn't sure if he was going to Lava Plume or... You know, I know this is a special defensive Heatran, and I'm a specially defensive... Notori, and you know, since he has no special attack EVs, I might have lived, but I guess not. So I went for Outrage here because I know if I use Earthquake, I'll get locked into Earthquake, and you know, his Latias will get a free move on me or whatever. So I know that, you know, Outrage will hit all of his shit pretty good, except for his Notori, obviously, but you know, it'll be better than Stone Edge or Dragon Claw or whatever. Ends up dying. Now here, I know he has a Latias and this thing left, and I'm like, if I can kill this bitch with the Draco Meteor, I will win this game. And I go for the Draco, and the bitch doesn't die. Sweet. Beautiful monkey dick right there. So, I lose 2-0, and I'm out of the tourney. And if I did take out that fucking Ferrothorn, he would have only had a Latias with like 3/4 HP, and then Stealth Rocks and whatever. I think it was around 3/4, and then put Stealth Rocks on the end of that. And I am Spexed. So, Draco Meteor from a -1 Latios on a Latias probably would have killed. Probably would have one-shot, let alone 3/4 shot it. But whatever. So, I'm out. Wild Chase beat Naranagi, which is sad. He lost 1-0 too. It was so damn close. And I wanted Nagi to win. I want one of you two to win. I want either Rev or Nagi to win, or me. Nagi's out, I'm out, so I'm rooting for Rev, so yeah, go Rev. Actually, at this point, I believe they actually did their battle, Wild Chase and Rev's battle, but, they haven't posted it yet, like, they're keeping it a secret until, you know, it's the actual finals, and then they'll actually post it. So, yeah. So, that is the battle, and, comment, rate, subscribe. I hate Ferrothorns, and especially defensive Heatrans. That is all. See ya.